Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a quick process video for you today. This is going to be for day 9 of Trusting a Good God from Bythewell4God. I sort of have a background already started here from when I was working on a couple other days. I had some paint left over on, I think it was day 2. And so I just went ahead and after I was done with that day, I used what was left and just applied it with a palette knife here on my page. I know this kind of painty background isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I really love mixed media, and so this kind of takes me back to those days where I was really into art journaling and that kind of stuff. So anyway, I have pulled out some light and fluffy modeling paste from the Crafters Workshop, an old stencil, and some paint. This is acrylic paint by Dina Wakley. I believe it's called Penny. And I'm just getting to trying to add a little bit more here to get to the right color, and just mixing that, not completely, so that there's like lighter and darker parts. And then I'm going to take my stencil. I decided I needed to put some deli paper back there to kind of make sure I didn't get any of this modeling paste on these pages behind there. And I'm just going to hold my stencil down and then apply this in a real thin coat with the back of my palette knife here. And this is this light and fluffy modeling paste is great for this because it kind of is a little bit more flexible, and it dries really quickly. So I'm just going to use my stencil here and cover all of the background. I know this seems really busy, but again, this is just kind of one of those things that I like to do. I know it's not for everybody, but I just thought I would take you along on the process for today. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to make sure to clean off. Anytime you're using your modeling paste with stencils, you want to make sure and clean that off right away because it will ruin your stencils. And now I'm pulling out this really old die cut set. It's a Sizzix set that has that will basically make these medallions. And so I used the Bythewell4God paper, and I just kind of decided which colors I was going to do, and since they're double-sided, I could kind of flip them back and forth, and when I got them to the look that I wanted, then I just glued them all down together. And I do want to add a little bit more to my background, so I'm going to use the stamps. This is from the new stamp set, the Weathered Word. I believe this stamp set is now back in stock at Bythewell. I'll put my affiliate link down below if you missed out on that the first time. Then just rubbing this on the back of my hand, and I don't want a complete impression of the stamp, so I'm not putting it on a stamp block or anything. You can see I'm just using my fingers. I'm stamping this in archival ink in black because I'm going over modeling paste and acrylic paint. So I just want to make sure that, it's going to dry and everything. And so I'm just kind of randomly, not trying to get a good impression, a full impression, just kind of randomly stamping it just to add some visual texture in the background. And then I'm going to use another one from that same stamp set and do the same exact thing. This just has a smaller, finer font to it. And just to give that background a little bit more interest, I like in my backgrounds having like black and white, the contrast of that just gives a little bit more interest. So now I'm going to take some gesso and I'm going to spray some water on there. And then again, sorry for the glare. I'm going to add some water, and I'm going to use a fan brush because I like the little splatters that you get when you use a fan brush to do this. Just watering it down and then just lightly tapping on my fan brush, and then getting all these little white speckles. It's kind of hard to see. Some of the colors are off. It looks like I think maybe just because it was kind of an overcast day here today. But anyway, just adding some little white splatters all the way around just to bring some of the white. There's some white in the background as well. So now I need to make my number to indicate that this is day 9. I have been using the Big Idea number stamps from Bythewell throughout this whole journal. So I am going to stamp this on some more of the pattern paper, and then I will fussy cut this out. My background does have a little bit of kind of gray in there. It's kind of hard to see, but so I'm just kind of pulling that forward a little bit with using this particular pattern paper. And then I just cut that out, and now I want to add the word, the title, which is that the enemy of trust is expectations, or unmet expectations. So I have this fabric, and I'm going to try to do this. I want to add this label. I printed these out from the digitals on clear sticker paper so that I would have the title for each of the days. And I'm just applying that right to this fabric that I had. This piece of fabric actually came in my little pocket journaling Bible kit. And so I thought this would work really well. So I just kind of frayed the edges and just stuck it right down to the fabric. And then I will glue all of that down over there in that corner. And then this little medallion that I made, I'm going to actually use to create a tuck spot. So I'm just putting some glue here in the corner. And because this is such a textured page, I'm going to have to kind of hold it here for a minute. And then I end up having to add some extra glue. You can see it didn't really stick down everywhere. So I'm going to run some extra glue up underneath there and then just kind of hold everything down. I had some glue seep through the little holes from my medallion. I'm just going to wipe that up. And then I'm going to hold that and let that go. And then my journaling cards and everything are going to go in that little tuck spot. And then I'm just using my glue here on the back of this fabric piece. I just put the glue kind of right behind where the sticker was, so it's not completely glued down. And then gluing down this number 9. And I'll have to kind of hold this in place just because I'm working over texture. Of course, you could add this on pop dots, but I felt like I had enough texture on here already. So I want to leave this one hanging off the edge. So I'm only going to put glue on this one half, and then I'm going to kind of hold it down. And I thought I had held it down long enough, and I didn't. So I'm going to have to just do that all over again. And then I will cut off the excess with my Tim Holtz scissors. And this part gets a little bit tricky. You can see here I'm just going to tuck all of these. These are my flashcards with the scriptures, and then I have one of the journaling cards that has some notes from the devotional day written down on there. And now I'm going to cut off this this other section because I want to use what's left over. So, but toward the center it got a little bit tricky because there's so many layers of paper stacked up on top of each other. And then I want to add it over here kind of in the middle to sort of help with that, idea of a visual triangle. But obviously I'm going to be working over the fold of my signature here. So I'm just I just marked where I needed to cut that, and then I just trimmed that down with my trimmer, and I'm going to glue both of these pieces just as close to that gutter piece as I can get them, and your eye will kind of complete it, even though there's going to be a break in the middle there. So that is kind of how that is going to look. And then I had a little section that was from the middle piece, that yellow section kind of fell off, but I just didn't worry about putting that back. I thought it was fine just like it was. So this is what my page looks like finished. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.